All right, recap time. What's up, TG fam? So we are coming into another really easy read day. Luckily here for very nice bounce day. So as far as my chat goes, we're talking about that bounce trade coming up here pretty early. So I got up here on Twitter. We talked about this at 6:45 a.m. Had a nice, really big green setup here from 6:45 Central all the way on as we posted in chat, looking for that easy long bias today. So let's talk about it. So open it up today here at pre-market open. All we did was we had a really beautiful consolidation movement above yesterday's close, open weekly. You can see the oscillations here are all super simple from the 3 a.m. move. So, holy moly, how'd that get so big? There we go. All higher lows, all higher lows, all higher lows. Perfect oscillation all pre-market. And then the kicker was our friend, the VIX. The VIX, as we repeat on a broken record over and over again, is the VIX does not like to stay way up into extended deviations. So when you see a deviation up here, 3, 2, and 1, when the VIX yesterday was trading at damn near 3 plus, that is exponentially crazy. Now, this morning, we had a downtrended VIX, and I said, well, watch for the standard deviation to uptrend. So you notice the lines on the standard deviation here and here would be, where's our second one? Here's number 2. Oh, we have a -2 down here somewhere. I don't know wherever it went, but -2 down here is going to be green as well. So the -2, oh, it's a little farther down there. This must be 1, 2, yeah, way down there. So the standard deviations will show green. There it is, right here in an uptrend, and red in a downtrend. So this morning when they were all pointed down like this, these were red. Okay, so I said, everybody watch for the VIX to swap to the upside and kind of start gearing up for that little bit of a weird dump into a standard deviation uptrend on the 5 and then kind of wait for confirmation. But the key point of the pre-market way back at 6:45 a.m. right here, we're talking about a super easy long. Why? Because the deviations were met at extreme resistance. We opened up here and we were into damn near the +2, okay, on a 5-day. So if you back up, the amount of time we spend outside of +1, -1, like we said, is very rare. We need a outside catalyst that's huge for that, okay? So we had a -2 and a +2, which is out of characteristically, right? So here you get -1, -1, +1, all in live trading, and you see how it sticks to the centers in -1, +1s, right? And once in a great while with extreme catalyst, we'll go outside of that. Well, this morning, we don't have any extreme catalyst. So there was zero chance the VIX was just going to pop back up and continue bouncing. We don't have a CPI, we don't have Powell this morning. We have nothing. We have no fear, hype, greed catalyst to do so. We have a technical analysis catalyst of the VIX being way too high and the market having a perfect dip buy long setup in the morning. So let's go to the SPY. Check out why we took our trades, which, again, pretty simple here. Same old fibs we've been using for weeks. They always replay themselves. And some pretty hefty trend lines. So we had a big, let's get the drawing tool here. Weekly conglomerate here, just tons of different supports, 432 to like 432.60. So we had like 6 points there of all sorts of massive support. We have these labeled here. These are old doji sword top weekly levels, and this is the 50% halfway point of the Fibonacci on the weekly. So anything above there, we're going to get that squeeze. But again, we were back here 6:45-ish right here, talking about the easy long, higher low, big breakout was going to come all the way back up. Now, I didn't think we were going to go all the way pushing into the gap quite yet. That's pretty exponential. I thought for sure we'd be, stuck to the 666 5-minute. So as you see in the Twitter call here, I just wanted to go long till the 666 5-minute. So right here, last one's on the real count out to 666 5-minute long. So that moving average was the long target from the pre-market, right? So with that being said, we're long right here all the way to the 666 5-minute. That netted us 14 points on ES. That's what got us that $1,400 win, and a bunch across the funded accounts as well as the real. So we ended up squeezing out way past that, which is fine. The 100 EMA and 1618 Fibonacci became the over-under point. So we said this morning, 434.24. This was our over-under, right? This is the 1618 from last Friday's huge breakout candle. If we're above it, we're squeezing out. If we're below it, coming down. So we had opened right on it, chop, big blast off, and such as such. Now we are dealing with the unfilled gap and the gap bottom of 436 as your new support. So what I would assume here is either today, it might be a big scam day here. We got a lot of resistance on Yesterday's highs here hasn't made it past yesterday's highs very high at all, and it's just consolidating after a little bit of a blip news, a dip there, and so be it. But look at the FANG rallies here. A lot of the FANGs are pushing up here quite well. So our conglomerate of little tickers that we made here are getting some good retraces, but the market's flat topping, right? Not wanting to do much else. Now, the dollar is still on the downside there, so the market could still try and hold, but it's just looking like it wants to scam at yesterday's highs. Maybe it starts that final FOMO push with some kind of outside news, but again, we're just kind of pushing into that gap for the third time, and since CPI, just another resistance fail. But inevitably, we still had all the markers picked out for a super easy long, all pre-market as we called, and that was just super thin. So a beautiful $1,000+ start to the Monday. And what this wants to do now is completely up to it. We need to use the gap bottoms 436 right here. We're going to use that as an over-under. If it falls out, we're going to get some beautiful panic all the way back down, and that's what it really deserves at this point with the VIX, because the VIX definitely has overhead gaps on it. So you're going to want to look for failures into today. I don't think we're going to get any kind of gap fills, because when I lift up and expand this old charty boy here, we got a couple of 5-minute gaps, and these gaps have a chance to algo and magnet back up. So if you're looking right here at the 5-minute, this is an old one right here. We have an unfilled right up here as high as 1830, which left a really garbage unfilled. And then we have one right here that was filled, okay? So the ones you're looking at right here, filled, unfilled, unfilled. So right now, VIX can come up to 1758, that's gap number one, blow past this one and have a relief either today or tomorrow as we fail that gap all the way up to 1830. So volatility is still present, right? Now, it doesn't mean it has to do it today or even tomorrow. We could lead up to this, and this could break all the way back down and further our resets to the bottom. But when they come back up, and not if, when the VIX comes back up to these markers of these gaps, those are going to be your points of interest to take profit on the opposite end. So if you see the VIX rallying into that gap, resist downwards. Make sure to take profit on that SPY, right, during the opposite. So what we see right here going on, the correlation. All right, and this is what you're going to see. So if 436 holds, great. You might get a quick little push back up, but filling this whole gap that is unfilled right now, kind of lackluster. I think the VIX is going to come back up for some of those gaps. We're going to push into this gap again, and we're probably going to falter and maybe bake it back down to the 666 back test, which we didn't get end of day. And that'll be that. So let's watch 436 over under to the gap and watch the progression over under the 100 EMA daily, which is right here at 434.33. So if that kind of comes back down here and hits this, kind of holds true, tomorrow might be a gap day or a double gap day or double presses it. But for the rest of the day, I don't see any news unless they just randomly slap you with something that's going to be a boom boom and for the whole fill. So let's just watch 436 over under. If it breaks out of the gap, hits 436 as resistance, we can come back down here to the 666 and 200s. If not, it holds the 436, scams out, and presses highs on kind of zero markers. We don't have any high presses right now. We have no reason for highs. There's not a FANG rally. There is not a huge VIX dump. VIX is actually into mass support right now. So this is just looking like one of those, hey, let's wait and consolidate for another 45 minutes till power hour kicks off, and then pick a decision at 436. So we'll watch for that. Stay tuned for the next.